2018 is finally upon us, and that means that your PC is probably a year old now. And there's going to be loads of performance upgrades you can do throughout the year, but maybe you're looking at upgrading the visuals and thinking about RGB fans. There's a fair few brands selling them, but today I've got the entire collection from Corsair. These have been on the market for the longest period of time, and there's plenty of options to choose from. All of the fans work in pretty much the same way, so you have 2 cables per fan, one for the RGB lighting and then one for the fan speed itself. But it does mean that you need to use a third-party controller box, and this does come with the starter kits of all the fans, but this is manual control only. If you do want to control it with software, you will need a Lighting Node Pro or Commander Pro, which doesn't actually come with all of the fans as standard. Turning to the range, the cheapest option is the SP RGB, and I've been using them in my personal Ryzen PC for around about 6 months, with very few bad things to say. The lighting is very tasteful, with 4 RGB nodes inside the centre of a frosted blade fan. While it's definitely not the brightest in the range, I really love the look they provide, with rich colours and plenty of effects to choose from. The main problem with these fans is that you don't get a Lighting Node Pro in the box as standard, which means that if you want to control these with software, you'll have to go out and buy it separately or rely on the manual buttons at the back. And this is a little bit of a shame, but it is a cheaper priced fan. But when you look at some of the competition that allow you to use third-party motherboards to actually control the RGB lighting software, it definitely is a bit of a compromise. Up next are the HD fans, and like the rest of the range, they come in both 120 and 140mm flavours, but these have a ring of RGBs on the outside of the ring, which allows for more effects, and unlike the SP and ML fans, they can actually be synchronised to any Corsair lighting strips you may already own. While they can be tailored to your liking, and there are loads and loads of effects to choose from, I'm actually not a huge fan of the exposed RGB nodes, and as such they're probably my least favourite from the range. Unfortunately, just like the SP fans, you don't get a lighting node in the box, which definitely makes this quite hard to recommend when other options are just more feature complete. Instead, I'd point you towards the Corsair LL, as these fans are the complete package. You get a lighting node in the box and unexposed RGBs in both the ring and the centre. As such, it's clearly the brightest fan in this test and the model with the most effects. Turn off the lights and you'll be blinded by the coolest looking PC you've ever put together. Just be aware that sunglasses are definitely required. In terms of performance, each of the fans are a clear step up versus your standard case spinner. While the SP is the weakest of the bunch, with its 3-pin cable limiting the amount of control you can get, I found it delivered great temperatures and minimal noise, with the static pressure optimised fans working great on my H100i and overclocked Ryzen 1700. The HD and LL are even better, with similar designs but greater voltage control, thanks to PWM. The LL fans can be slightly quieter at a minimum RPM of 500 versus 800, but both will yield more or less identical levels of noise and temperatures when under load. But if you want the absolute best of the best when it comes to performance, yet you want RGB lighting as well, there is yet another option. Introducing the Corsair ML Magnetic Levitation RGB fans, because yes, my favourite performance fans have now gone RGB, and they genuinely do look awesome. You've still got most of the effects that you'll find on the SP fans, and with a controllable range of 400 to 1600 RPM, using that magnetic levitation technology, you're going to get silence at idle and then minimum temperatures under load. Just know that all of the figures that I've said are based on the 120mm size, and of course you actually need to tune the fans to reap all of the benefits. So those are all of the Corsair RGB fans, for now. Unlike so much of the RGB train, they really do make a lot of sense because you can create a really standout effect. And while you definitely will need to be quite careful on your case selection, I think that they would be my first go-to upgrade if I was going down the visual department, as they really do look that good. All but the HD come highly recommended, and if you are interested in any of the products, I'll leave them all down in the description below so you can check out things like current pricing, because you'd be so surprised how quickly these things change. It really is pretty ridiculous, really. But regardless, a massive thank you for checking out this video. If you've liked it, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. If you have enjoyed it, I know that you will enjoy the look at the Lighting Node Pro and the LED strips when I built the ultimate RGB PC. You can find that in the top right hand corner of this video. But regardless, a massive thank you for watching it, and I'll see you next time.